There are some conversations that never truly leave us. They linger in the air long after the words have been spoken, like smoke that refuses to fade. You know the ones I mean. The talks we never completed, the questions left unanswered, the silences that carried more weight than words ever could. We may move forward in life. We may grow older and wiser, but unfinished conversations have a way of echoing in the chambers of our memory. Think about it. Every time we sit with ourselves in quiet moments, some of those voices return. Maybe it's a parent we didn't say enough to before they left. Maybe it's an old friend who drifted away after a fight that ended not in resolution, but in silence. Maybe it's a love we lost, where the last goodbye was never really said. These conversations become part of our inner world, shaping how we see others, and more importantly, how we see ourselves. Why do they hold such power? It is because conversations are not just words. They are bridges. They are the threads that weave connection between two souls. When a conversation is left unfinished, it feels like a bridge half built, suspended in air, unable to reach the other side. We carry the weight of that incomplete crossing. We wonder endlessly, what if I had said this? What if I had stayed longer? What if I had been more honest? In that wondering, the unfinished conversation becomes a ghost that haunts us. Not in a frightening way, but in a way that keeps tugging at our hearts. The human mind is wired to seek closure. We want endings to make sense. We want to know the full story, whether it is of a book, a film, or a relationship. Unfinished conversations deny us that closure. They create loops in our thoughts. We replay them again and again, trying to complete what was left open. Sometimes we even imagine what the other person would have said, as if writing alternate endings to a script that never got finished. But no matter how many times we replay it, the truth remains. The actual conversation ended too soon, and we are left with fragments. Unfinished conversations can shape the stories we tell ourselves. For example, imagine someone whose father passed away before they could say, "I forgive you." That unsaid sentence becomes an unfinished chapter. It can color how that person views forgiveness for the rest of their life. Or think of two lovers who part in anger, never explaining their true feelings. That silence may shape how each of them views love in the years that follow. Unfinished conversations are not just about the other person. They become about us, about the meaning we give to our own lives. And yet, it is not always sorrowful. Sometimes, unfinished conversations leave us with a space for imagination, a space where mystery lives. Perhaps the beauty of a conversation that was never completed is that it allows us to write our own ending. It forces us to sit with uncertainty, and in that uncertainty, we often grow. Life, after all, is not about perfect resolutions. It is about learning to carry the unanswered questions with grace. But how do we heal from them? One way is by acknowledging them openly. Instead of trying to bury the memory of unfinished conversations, we can bring them into the light. Write the words you wish you had said. Speak them out loud, even if the other person is no longer there. Some people write letters they never send. Others sit in quiet reflection and imagine saying what was left unsaid. These acts may seem small, but they give our heart a form of closure, a way to tell itself, "I spoke my truth even if no one was listening." Another way is by living differently in the conversations we still have. Every unfinished talk is a reminder not to repeat the same mistake again. It is a teacher in disguise. It whispers, "Don't leave things unsaid. Don't let silence grow where words are needed. Don't assume there will always be more time." In this way, unfinished conversations shape not only our past, but also our future. They teach us to finish what matters, while we can. There's a certain humility in accepting that some conversations will remain unfinished forever. We may never get to ask that question. We may never get to hear that answer, but that does not mean we are broken. It means we are human. It means we are living in a world where not everything is complete, not everything is certain, and not everything is neatly tied up, and maybe that's the point. Life is not a perfect novel where every chapter ends with resolution. It is more like a collection of unfinished letters, each one teaching us something about longing, about hope, about the beauty of the incomplete. Think of your own unfinished conversations. Maybe there is someone you still miss. Maybe there are words you still hold back. Maybe there are wounds that never got spoken about. What would it mean if, instead of seeing them as burdens, you saw them as sacred reminders? Reminders of what mattered, reminders of what your heart truly valued, reminders of the power of words to connect or to divide. The truth is, unfinished conversations are part of the architecture of our lives. They may never disappear, but they can transform. Instead of wounds, they can become windows that let us see what we need to cherish in the present. They can teach us to live more honestly, to love more deeply, and to forgive more quickly. And in that way, even unfinished words can become complete within us. So the next time you feel haunted by a conversation that ended too soon, pause. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Ask yourself what it is teaching you. Because maybe, just maybe, its purpose was never to be finished, but to awaken something in you, to remind you that every word you say has weight, every silence has meaning, and every connection you make is an invisible thread in the fabric of life. The power of unfinished conversations is not that they remain incomplete. The power is that they continue to live, shaping us in ways we do not always recognize. They whisper to us in the quiet hours, urging us to be present, urging us to speak when our hearts are full, urging us to finish what we can. Because life is shorter than we think, and the bridges we build with words are the most precious architecture we will ever leave behind. And perhaps one day, when someone thinks of us, they too may remember our conversations, not as unfinished, but as moments that felt whole, moments that mattered, moments that stayed. And that, in the end, is the greatest legacy words can give.